joined with managers Stephen Fawcett and Mike McDonald after today's 3-2 Cup Round 1 victory against Wolviston. Stephen, do you want to sum that one up for us?
Well, another good win, I think, first and foremost. The lads kind of, again, have stuck in to grind out a result when we needed to, but I think kind of similar to last week in that we weren't great in the first half, and we spoke at half time about what we needed to do differently. But again, we did enough to kind of get ourselves in front when we weren't playing particularly well. And then the second half, we kind of again created enough good moments and chances and managed to score when we needed to get ourselves in the lead. But Wolviston were kind of always a threat. At 2-0 up, they got one back really quick, which then puts the game back into a balance. Really tight, narrow pitch, which didn't help us at all, and not a particularly big pitch generally. So I think it's just a case of one of them where we've got the job done really. But again, all the credit to the lads for the way that they've gone about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Mike, you could say that today, if we were playing fantasy football, we used the bench boost card with Douglas Hughes coming off the bench and scoring 2 goals. How vitally important is the bench?
Well, first, Doug's been in and around the first team. Yeah, I know he hasn't been available some weeks and things like that, but come on today, he'd run his blood to water for us when we needed him to put a shift in. He took his 2 goals well, and at the end of the day, we've spoke time and time again about the bench. Talk time and time about the bench and how important it is. And it's not make believe stuff. It is massively important. And the bench we had today, we had kind of all areas kind of covered with our bench today, and the quality that we fetched off the bench was equal to what we take off the field. And something. And the more and more the season goes on, the more and more it becomes more important for me. It's just, as I say, it's a massive asset, and it's a great commitment for lads coming. And also the pushing other lads in the team to say, well, you know what, if you're not on it, I'll have that shirt off you. So yeah, it's super important for us, super important.
Absolutely, Stephen. Now we go and look ahead to next week. Obviously, it's a big week of preparation. We play a semi-final against Silksworth. Are you looking forward to that game, and what's it going to mean for the club?
Yeah, you've got to look forward to them, haven't you? It's kind of a really big game for the club, for the lads. They've earned the right, to have a go at the semi-final, and we don't need to kind of over-egg it. I think there's a danger you can make it into too big of a game. It's just another game of football against, Silksworth. It'll be a tough game, and if we win it, there's a really good reward at the end of it in terms of, getting to a final, which I don't know when the last time this club was in a final, but and it's the first of 2 semi-finals, so there'll be good experience for us as well. So yeah, really looking forward to having a crack at that and a good week leading up to it.
Yeah, Mike, finally, without putting obviously words into other people's mouths, what would it mean for the people in the club, around the club, the players, the managers, the staffing behind, people who come to the games, people in the Falcon after the match? What would it mean to see the team get to a final?
I mean, it's massive for the team. I mean, like Forsey said, I can't remember the last time the club got to a final. And obviously we're in 2 semi-finals, which shows that the lads are doing it, they're killing it. So at the end of the day, there's people around the club, that do the committee, sort the pitch out. It's not just for the lads and ourselves, it's for those people. They're the most important people. That game won't be on next weekend if we don't get people working behind the scenes and making sure everything's sorted. So it's not just stays with the 11 on the pitch and the bench and then us. It's the credit has to go to the full club. Also, things like this for young players, the kids who come down and watch the games, and it gives them something to aspire to, that then one day they can be pulling on a Windscale shirt and being in a final and playing for the first team. That's what the club's all about. It is a club. It's not just one team. It's a club effort. So it's massive for everybody, massive. And let's be honest, it's going to be it's going to be a really good day. We'll fancy our chances, no doubt. Silksworth will fancy theirs, and but let's just enjoy the day. Let's just enjoy the day and take out of it the moments that we can really remember for the future.
Absolutely. Cheers, gentlemen.